Okay, well, good morning, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming out here today to learn about a real health challenge that's taking place not just in Louisville, but in many, many parts of our country as well. And so we're going to talk about that and some of the ways that we're working to address that. And of course, what I'm talking about is the opioid crisis, which is plaguing our city, our state, and our nation in ways that are really detrimental to so many people, and the unfortunate momentum behind the opioid crisis is continuing to build. So you will hear us speaking regularly about this challenge and what we can all do in our community to address it as effectively as we can. The facts are that drug overdoses are now the leading cause of accidental deaths in Louisville and all of Kentucky. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, fatal overdoses have quadrupled in the last 10 years in our nation, and it continues to significantly increase. In Jefferson County alone, 285 of our neighbors, friends, and family members died of an overdose in 2016. So while homicides tend to be the headline crime, there's more than double the amount of overdoses that are taking place in our city and in other cities around the country. This is 3, 4, 5 times the amount. So significant issue. Obviously, behind each one of these overdoses is somebody's brother, sister, mother. And the interesting thing about this is that these overdoses affect everybody in every zip code in our country and in our city. We know that these deaths are preventable, but we have to get in front of it. Now, one thing we want to keep in mind is all opioids, whether prescribed or illicit, have major health risk, and we need to educate ourselves about those risks. So it's not just something where you say, okay, well, I got a little 6-day prescription here and everything's going to be okay. Obviously, we want to reduce pain if you have that, but it's a slippery slope between reduction of pain and the beginning of what can be an addiction. 1 in 5 teenagers in Kentucky has abused prescription medication for off-label purposes. According to the Kentucky Office of Drug Control Policy, more than 60% of these teens reported that they obtained the medication from families and friends. So have you ever thought or worried about your child and drugs? Have you wondered what you could do to stop a problem before it starts or before it snowballs? Have you seen some indication from your child or grandchild where you know something's just not quite right, but you're afraid to have that conversation, only to learn 1 month later that something really negative has taken place? So all these are tough issues, and they're tough questions. And there's not one answer to this serious problem in our community. But there are steps that we can take to protect our loved ones from misusing medication, to prevent addiction, and save lives. So here to talk more about this new effort we are announcing today is Dr. Sarah Moyer, Medical Director for Public Health and Wellness. Dr. Moyer?
Thank you, Mayor Fisher. As a parent and a physician, I know that it'd be most of our worst nightmares to find out that someone we love and care about is using drugs. We know that drug overdoses are happening in every zip code in Jefferson County, and up until this point, many of our initiatives to battle the opioid crisis in Louisville have, by necessity, been reacting to the needs of people who are using drugs and protecting our community from infectious diseases like HIV and hepatitis C. But it's also important that we take proactive steps to prevent substance abuse in the first place. These classes are a first step. I'm excited that the Louisville Free Public Library has joined with us to launch a free class around opioid prevention called Heroin Hurts Louisville, What We Can Do. This 90-minute course is free and open to the public, and it's intended to provide parents and other caring adults and friends with valuable insights as to why kids misuse substances, how to start the dialogue about the dangers of substance abuse, and to be empowered with the steps to take if you suspect or know someone at risk of using. The class is taught by a certified drug and alcohol counselor from our Office of Addiction Services. It's going to include some educational information, video testimony from youth, and lots of time for facilitated discussion. So please bring your questions. Right now we're starting with 2 classes. The first one is Tuesday, July 18th at the main library, 6:30 p.m., 301 York Street. And the second class is Saturday, August 5th at 2 p.m. here at the Southwest Library, 9725 Dixie Highway. If we get a good response to these classes, we plan to add more and to expand to other library locations. All right, so now I'd like to thank and call up our library director, James Blanton.
Thank you, Dr. Moyer, and I'd like to thank everyone for coming out today to the Southwest Regional Library. This beautiful facility was opened in 2014 to better meet the needs of southwestern Jefferson County, to serve as a valuable resource for students, businesses, lifelong learners, and anyone who understands the power and value of information. That is why we are so pleased to be able to provide a place for the Heroin Hurts Louisville classes. Our libraries are more than places of learning. They play a vital role in acting as a community convener. We provide safe spaces for citizens to come together to address critical issues facing our community. And as our libraries are uniquely positioned in neighborhoods throughout the community, they can become important gathering sites for those neighborhoods that are far too often seeing tragic consequences from this epidemic. Helping Louisvillians grow, thrive, and become the best people they can be is what the library is all about. By working with the Department of Public Health and Wellness to educate parents and caregivers about the dangers and warning signs of substance abuse, the library is committed to facilitating positive change in our community. And we believe that the Heroin Hurts Louisville class will be a valuable tool for effecting that positive change. Anyone can attend this free class. To register, you only need to call 502-574-1623 and sign up for either the class at Main Library on July 18th or the class here at Southwest Library on August 5th. As Dr. Moyer said, if there's significant interest, we'll add more classes at more library locations throughout the city. The library is committed to helping do what we can to help address this terrible epidemic, and we are proud to be a partner. Thank you.
So I want to thank both Public Health and Wellness for our library for leaning into this issue. As I mentioned, overdoses are a significantly larger problem than homicides in our community in terms of unnecessary loss of life. When we offered classes earlier this year on the use of Narcan, the reaction to those classes was basically overfilled rooms. So there are a lot of folks in this community that understand the gravity of this challenge that we have in front of us. So I'd encourage everybody to come to the libraries, check these out. If you know somebody's involved or not involved, this is a public health crisis that we have in our country right now. So the more knowledge that we have, the better we're going to be able to equip ourselves to handle it and hopefully stop some people from going down the really slippery slope to addiction. So as you've heard here, this class is a way for you to learn more about safeguarding your family and the warning signs that come with substance abuse. So often I hear from people, loved ones, that say something like, I wish I would have, when they look back and they thought something was wrong, but they just didn't really know what to do. So whether you're personally touched by opioid abuse or addiction, this crisis, we're all affected by it. Increased drug use and trafficking is also one of the consequences of this as well, and that's had a direct impact on the spike in violence that we've seen in our community. It's enlarged the size of the illegal drug market, and as there's disputes in that market, people resolve them through violent means. So it's not just the personal addiction, it's then the violence that comes with that, and oftentimes gun violence. I talked about that last week in a speech I gave at the Ali Center and offered ways for everybody to get involved, to be part of the solution to this. We're calling that Be the One, to make a difference, whether it's by volunteering or mentoring a youth in our community or doing something as simple as cleaning up a neighborhood, because a clean neighborhood sets the tone for a safe neighborhood. So this class is another way that you can be the one. As Jim said, you can register for the classes by simply calling 574-1623, 574-1623. So sign up, come and educate yourself, become a champion in your community, become a champion in your church. This is the type of training that we'd like to see scaled throughout the entire community, so we have top-of-mind awareness on what this issue is. When we do that, you'll be part of making us a safer and healthier community. Okay, so any of you guys want to say anything? No? Okay. Any questions? All right. Well, you know me. I'll say thank you for coming, and let's please get the word out this as best we can, both in your newscast, but in the crawlers that you all put out as well. Okay? Thanks very much. And thanks to the library for letting us use your all space. This is a beautiful, beautiful library. We'll be opening the South Central Regional Library real soon,
Real soon, the 21st, 10:30.
as in 10 days from today. Okay, so please come and check that out as well. That's equally as beautiful as this with a few other additions. Thank you.